So I'd say she's mated. Where'd she go? There she is up here. So I'll show you these two evil hives down here. Yeah, they're not coming after me so far. So I had those moving screens on them when I drove them here. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It is Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day 2024. So thank you for those veterans who have served our country. I really appreciate your service. And today we're going to be getting into the hives with the bricks on them, and those are the ones that are queenless. And I made some of them queenless by pulling the queen out, moving them, or making splits, and they were making queens from swarm cells. So there's some of those we need to check. And I probably will do this on a separate video, but prior video y'all saw the really pissy hive that I inspected out in western Oklahoma, two of them. So 5 days later, 4 or 5 days, my brother-in-law went out there to mow, and he got the mower out and he didn't get far, and man, they just attacked him, and he got stung all over the neck and the arms, and he just turned the mower off and took off running, got in his truck, and they were they were on him, and so he got in the truck with him, and so he just took off with the windows down, and finally they all got on him. He said he got stung about 15 times. So needless to say, they said, you know, let's just move these bees out of here. Do you want them? And I said, well, yeah, I'll take them, because I just put new boxes in them and all that. So so I was out of town all last week with work, and I got back Friday about noon, and I went back out there to western Oklahoma, waited till dusk, and I took them apart, reassembled them in the back of my truck, and ratchet strapped them together, got them home, and I used the tractor to pick them up with that ratchet strap and set them down, and so I didn't have to take them back apart again in the dark. And man, I got stung a bunch of times on my wrists and neck and stuff too. And I had a flashlight, and they kept coming towards the flashlight. Anyway, I set them up down there on the end, so they're still my father-in-law's hives, so they're down there doing their thing, and we're just gonna play like they're still his, and we're just gonna keep track of them that way. So I'll probably make a separate video going in there, because the last video you probably saw, I accidentally took the queen out of there when I took the 4 frames of brood out to weaken that hive so it wouldn't swarm. So we need to get in there and make sure there's emergency cells in there, and they are making a queen. If they're not successful, I always have their original queen. I can put her back in there. So let's get started. I've got 4 or 5 of these with the bricks on them, and I'm just going to get in there. I'm going to look for signs of a queen. If I see her, great. If not, that's okay too. I just want to know that there's one in there laying, and if not, we'll need to do some combining or something like that. I've got, I don't know how many hives now. It's got to be close to the 40 number, and I try to go into winter with 30. So I've got enough to combine down. I might sell a couple of nukes. There's been people asking me about nukes. So that's enough yip yap. Let's get in here and let's see how many of these are successful and not. Okay, I'm going to start here with this Apame. You probably remember that I had the divider in it, and I was doing it as a double nuke, and I had transplanted swarm cells on one side and swarm cells on the other, and they all emerged. I saw a couple of queens from time to time, but never was successful on either side. So I went ahead last week, I believe, maybe it's 2 weeks ago, I took the divider out, and I put in a frame of brood with eggs in the middle. So I'm going to give them one more chance here to make a queen and get mated. And I've been feeding a little bit, so that's empty. That one's empty as well. So we should see some emergency queen cells in here. If not, that means they've got a queen already. I don't remember which one. It's one of these in the middle. Has the had the brood frame, the donor frame. So we'll start on the left here. So there's a few unopened capped brood there from prior split. And I did see some liquid in there. And here we have liquid and pollen. So, and the sun's starting to set. It's not quite setting yet, but about to run out of daylight. And I see liquid in here too. So the bees are good as far as stores, liquid stores, and they have a little bit of pollen in there as well. So I think this one or the next one, we should see our emergency queen cells on. Well, I don't see any hair. So this is pollen and nectar. Looking real close for a virgin queen. I think it's too early still. Don't see anything queen-like. No brood on there. And I see a queen cell right here. It's capped. So they made one right here. I'm surprised they didn't make any up here. And here's another one on this side. Right there. So they've not emerged yet. So they were in fact queenless, or they wouldn't have pulled that down. So we'll leave them alone for a couple more weeks, and we'll come back and check on it and see if we get a queen. It's more than just having a queen emerge. That queen's got to go out and mate and survive and make it back. And I'm just running 6 frames in this right now. They don't need to be fed. There's liquid in there, so I'm not going to feed them anymore. Okay, let's get over to hive 4, and then we'll do 8, and then we'll go around the corner. So this one here with the brick, I did find looked like a mated queen, but she wasn't laying yet. Okay, we've got a honey super on this one. I'm not going to pop the lid on the super. I'm just going to lift it off, and then I'll see how much it weighs. It's got some weight to it. I'd say it's about a third full. I'm not too worried using a little bit of smoke today because I'm just looking for signs of the queen. I don't necessarily have to see her. And we got plenty of liquid in here. A lot of drones on that frame. You can really smell the honey curing down here. Pollen and nectar, and they're starting to cap some of it into honey. Well, it sure looks like where a queen should be laying right there. Pollen and nectar. I don't see queen sign or brood sign. And there's empty comb up here that she could be laying in. Here's one they're drawing out. I think we're still queenless here. This one here is almost all full of nectar and honey. Go get my light. Same thing. A lot of nectar. Some's capped. And a few open cells. That's almost all nectar. I think we're queenless here. I'm going to get back over to these cells here. Get the light on them. No eggs, no larvae. Same thing. No eggs, no larvae. We'll look at one more. I'm not going to go into the bottom. Yeah, this is a queenless hive here. All right, let's I'm gonna do this one at another time because it's got the 2 supers on it. I'm gonna go around here where it's a little lighter. It's starting to get kind of dark on me. And we've got 3 over here we can check. And this is hive 20 here. And that hive it's been kind of hot here lately. 21 and 23. We'll do these 3 and we'll call that the video there. Let's see what I recorded last time I was in here. I was in here the 18th. It's queenless, but there was still some unopened queen cells. So it's been 9 days since I've been in here last. That super there was pretty heavy. From the tops of this one, it looks like it's pretty full as well. Yep. So it's probably a little early to see a laying queen in here. So we'll just look through the frames real quick for a queen sighting and see if she looks like she's been mated or not. And if we don't see one, we'll just mark it as queenless and come check it again later. Of course, if she's not laying, we'll have to check it again anyways. Make sure she does get started laying. So these are blank frames, undrawn. And here's another one. They're starting to draw this one out. And they're filling it with nectar as they're drawing it. And there's a few bees a-buzzing me. Not too bad though. So we got a bunch of empty cells here. This looks very queen, like a queen frame, like where a queen would want to lay. All the nectar's out here on the edges, and here's our queen right here. So I'd say she's mated. Where'd she go? There she is up here. Nope, she's right there. She definitely don't like being out here. Man, she's a fast mover. There, I got my owner. Yeah, she's mated, she's good. And she's gonna start laying right there on that frame where it's all empty and they got it prepared for her. In fact, there may be some eggs in there already. Good deal. Let's get out of here. And we'll get in this one here, 21. That's good. That means this will be a nice strong hive next year. Should be. Yeah, this hive here was pretty pissy, so getting a mated queen in there's made a lot of difference. Oh man, what if I could pick both of these up at the same time? Oh, that wasn't very smart. Wasn't many bees up here, I wouldn't have done that. Oh, that was heavy. All right, I think this is, I can't remember if I expanded this. I was feeding it there in the top. So we'll take our brick and we'll lay it down flat now. Give it a little weight. Nope, I'm still feeding it. So here's how I feed with an entrance feeder on a nuke. I put it inside so none of the other bees can get to it. And it's empty. So probably what we'll find is these frames in here have liquid in them. And you always want to block off your little notch with something so bees can't get in there and rob it. Look on here for a queen. So this started as a double apame and it had a queen in it, and I moved it to this to free up my apame box. And this has been queenless. I checked it on the 18th, just like that other hive, and it was queenless. Got a good population in here. Don't weigh much. It's sliding around. There's liquid and pollen there. Same thing here. Well, 50-50 so far. We need to get our rods up. So that looks kind of like that other. It's sort of empty right in here. Let me get my light on that. No eggs. There's an empty queen cup right there. So there's plenty of liquid in here. Don't need to be feeding them anymore. Oh, here's a queen. There's a nice looking queen right there. Somewhere. There's our queen right there. These new queens, boy, they got track shoes on. They move fast. She went clear around the other side of the frame. Let's get her back in there. She looks mated to me. She's good sized. I suspect she'll be laying pretty soon. Since they have plenty of food in their hive now, I'm not gonna put that second story on there with the feeder. We can get one more done before it gets dark on me. So I'll show you these two evil hives down here from western Oklahoma. So the one on the right is the one that I put the third super on it with the undrawn, and when I was up there I checked that and they weren't working on it, so I just shook them out of there and took that off. So yeah, these two hives were starving. The one on the right more so than the one on the left, but yeah, they're not coming after me so far. So I had those moving screens on them when I drove them here, but I drove them after dark, so shouldn't have had a lot of bees trying to get out of there. So we'll see how they do. Let's get back down here, and the queen is in that hive right there. All right, 23. Last one we'll do tonight. So my back's killing me, especially after lifting that 2 supers at once full of honey. All right, 23. On the 5th, it was queenless. I had 1 good queen cell left. 18th, it was queenless. This is the one I was worried about requeening. They didn't have a whole lot of good queen cells left in there. And man, it was, where am I? Man, it was hot today. Got up to 93. Ah, this has got some honey in it. Ugh. This hive here's acting a little testy. They're already stinging my cuffs. That's completely full of liquid right there. This side here is about half liquid and half pollen bee bread. All liquid. All liquid. We may be a honey bound hive here. We'll see how it goes. This is a blank frame drawing out. Heavy. That is totally full of liquid. They're not saving any place for a queen to be laying. This here's a new undrawn frame. Not new, it's a refurb. And they're drawing that out. Sometimes these new frames, when they draw them out, that's where the queen will want to go. Not that one. They're filling everything with honey. This one's got a little bit of pollen bee bread in it, but it's still mostly liquid. And we don't know what the bottom looks like. It may have space down there, but I'm not going to go into it. Don't have time. It's getting dark. All liquid and pollen. So this hive is, well, we ain't seen it all yet, but I was gonna say it's pretty much honey bound. We need to pull a frame. First we need to get it queen right. If it's not, liquid and pollen. They're not saving any queen space. So usually the queen is up in the top, you know, this time of year. If it's all drawn out and they're using it, she'll choose to be laying up there most of the time. That's not 100% true, but it's 99% true. What do y'all think? What's your experience on that? I usually just look in the top. So here's one they're drawing out. So they do have work to do. So I'm going to move this to the center. Check this last one here. That's heavy. It's going to be all liquid. Yep. I would say this is probably queenless. Man, this one should have had 2 supers, not that other one. You never know which one's going to do good, and I mean, you can kind of tell, but it's all up to how well that queen lays and how the population peaks with conjunction with the nectar flow. I'd say that super's probably 80% full. It's not packed out yet, but it's getting there. And we still got all of June. We could use a rain or two. So we'll put our brick here saying it's still queenless. So we had 2 queens and queenless, and our Apamay nuke has 2 cells in it, and number 4 looked like it was still queenless. So that's 2 out of 5. That's not very good. So we still got a chance though. So thinking about maybe ordering some queens, I don't know. May just do some combining. But that's it for the video, and stick around for the next one when I go into the super mean pissy hive down there from western Oklahoma and make sure it's got swarms or emergency cells in it, and it's requeening. So give me a thumbs up on the video, and we'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.